when we start the show, we like to ask you which avatar you like to take. Tony Stark or the Hulk for now, for the next 40 minutes?
I think I'm going to go Hulk.
Yeah, that's the common choice, and that's a good choice too.
Why you all about my business? Yeah, I've been working hard, always keeping to myself. Why you acting like a witness? Man, trying to get a piece once I'm getting all this world. No, you don't need to get involved. No, no, you don't need to get involved. No, no, now you trying to get involved. No, no, you don't need to get involved. No, why you trying to get involved? No, no, you were never about to squad.
Okay, Amber, thank you very much for being on the show from sunny San Diego, or you said?
Yeah, outside of San Diego, Encinitas, like a little mini vortex outside of San Diego, right on the coast.
Oh, lovely, lovely. So do you live there?
I live in Los Angeles, but some dear friends live down here. So we had an amazing birthday ceremony. We played on the beach, we sang, we had drums, we had healthy food and French fries, and spending some time together, just really enjoying each other. So it's been
lovely. Also, Alexi and Preston, you're saying? They had
Alexi and Preston had their baby yesterday.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so awesome that we have a little king in our tribe. Kingston Raw Davis is his name. So nice. We're pretty excited.
Nice. Whenever I start a show, I like to, my first question is always the first chapter or the first part of the show is always about the story. So what's your story? Where do you grow up? How were you as a child? Tell us about yourself, your friends, siblings, whatever you want to share with us.
Beautiful. So it all began. I arrived into the world in Northern California on December 28th, 1978.
Nice.
And to be honest with you, I don't remember too much of my childhood, as it was very unique experience that I believe I called forth, the parents I chose.
Sure.
But my mother and father were, constantly together, not together. My father was an addict for most of my childhood. Before he passed away, he was 13 years sober, which was great because we really created a beautiful bond and relationship. He was always my biggest fan. And after he did a lot of self-development work, he was really able to be a really solid guide for me during the last phases of his life.
So amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely a daddy's girl and still very connected to him. So, my mom moved us up to Oregon and Washington. I spent most of my childhood in Seattle until I was 21. I became a cheerleader for the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. And so most of my childhood, I loved to dance and I loved to interview people. I loved to talk, which is why in high school, I became the co-host of our morning show and then had a dream to be a news anchor.
Impressive.
Yes. And exploring that, realizing news wasn't really my jam. It was really negative in the newsroom and people seemed really depressed. And I've always been very sensitive to energies and aware. I'm like, this isn't really my jam. But then moving to California and New York and Hawaii, working in the model management industry, I found my way back to Los Angeles and really started to pursue my TV hosting career. And so for 10 years, I was interviewing celebrities on and off the red carpet, at award shows and press junkets. I also covered gaming. I've always been a big video game nerd. Video games, sports, and entertainment news. And people were like, you need to decide. And I said, why? I like it all.
Sure.
And then got to a point in my life where I was in electronic music. In between, I threw huge electronic music festivals. I always had this party girl. I always loved the energy, of events. And so throughout being a TV host, I would fly back and forth to Seattle and put on these massive shows as an executive producer because I was just good at it, right? And in between that, I was nannying for small children while I was, doing the whole hustle, the TV hustle.
Were these celebrity kids?
They weren't. These ones weren't one of the families I nannied for was a child of a celebrity.
Okay.
And the other family they were hedge fund owners. So always working for high profile people, and it allowed me to have the flexibility to go to auditions during the day when the kids were at school. So I did that journey for a while. And then one day at my 5th callback at a entertainment news affiliate, E! News, I had this almost out of body experience. And I realized that I didn't want to do this anymore. I had this moment of, this isn't what I'm here to do. I don't want to talk badly about people. I don't want to gossip about people. And I was very much on my spiritual quest at that time, and looking around in this Hollywood scene and just seeing the contrast of all these people with all this money, but these horrible home lives, and just this whole like polarity that just didn't feel in alignment. And during that time, I was really listening to the teachings of Abraham Esther Hicks, and really getting clear on how powerful I was with the intention I was setting. And I ended up getting manifesting through sticky affirmations, my own show, but it wasn't my own show, which is why I learned to be specific with the universe. And I really like started putting these sticky affirmations all over my wall, and really playing around with them. And at the time I was doing really well financially, working for these high profile people, but I wanted to play with more abundance, and I wanted to call in more like-minded friends, because I really just started to look around my surroundings and realize I was the one teaching them about these things, these, energy and light and crystals and meditation and affirmations. And I didn't really have a tribe. I had a lot of people that were chasing fame and really feeling really lonely, and during that time, I was clear that I needed to do something more to like change the world, but I didn't know what that was.
Right.
And for so long, I thought TV news was it, right? Like getting my own show would be like it. But what I realized is I was seeking a false sense of approval through the chase and pursuit of fame.
Sure.
And so I realized that the approval I was seeking was famous. I thought if I became famous, then I had arrived. And even by being on a show, and it was so mean girl and low vibration, and it was a reality show, and then getting this offer to be on this show talking bad about Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus at the time, it didn't feel good to my soul. And so during that time, I literally walked off the set. I completely bombed my interview.
Wow.
I had just been broken up with, ending a relationship with a sex addict. And I literally just feel like I hit rock bottom. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know what my purpose was, because this dream that I thought I had since I was a child was like clear it wasn't it. This man I thought I was going to marry had basically been sleeping with other women, behind my back. And how could I have been so dumb? Like, who am I to like not be able to see this go down?
Right.
So I felt really lonely, and I was suicidal, because there was no home to go to. My dad had died. My mom and my father were split up. I had a tumultuous relationship with my mother. So I didn't know where home was. And LA had been my home for so long that I just felt really lost in the world, in my purpose. And so I dove into self-development and took a really powerful emotional intelligence training, which gives me emotional thinking about it. It just gave me my self-worth. Like I owned my power. I owned that I mattered and that my purpose mattered. And that's really why I became the Life Purpose Cheerleader, is to become a cheerleader for everyone else's dreams, and realizing that it only takes one person to believe in your dream, you. And I wanted to be that one person for other people before they can be that person for themselves. And so all of a sudden people just really wanted me to coach them. And I never thought I would be a coach. Ever, ever, ever. Nor did I ever think that I would be yelling at my phone or my computer for a living, which is what I do as a live streamer, as a life, relationship, and career coach who's guiding 1 million light workers to love themselves, own their worth, so they can be paid for their purpose. And so now I coach moms, small business owners, network marketers, anyone who believes they're on this planet for a bigger purpose and they need support getting from where they are to where they want to be, and learn how to turn their mess into their message and their pain into their purpose, and begin to be compensated for their gifts and for the things that bring them joy and their zone of genius. And so it's been a really fast journey. As soon as I surrendered, dove all in, put my coaching on my credit card, just started I went into debt working for people that was supposed to have a partnership in that production company in Seattle. And basically my partner at the time said, the partner in the business said, well, if you don't move to Seattle, then I can't offer you the vice president position. And I had literally been getting paid peanuts, working 90 hours a week, blowing through my savings, literally taking below minimum wage just because he was about to go bankrupt. And I believed in him. And I really thought, wow, what a low self-esteem I must have had to literally be eating out of a can and to find myself in debt and with no plan and no purpose and no backup. And so I went all in. I literally ate cans out of cans for a while. And talk about the ego, right? Like making so much money every week, having to call my mother to ask for money for my rent at 35, had to ask for money from my boyfriend at the time, who's a new boyfriend of mine, for groceries, and having to literally tell my friends no to like go out and go to things. And it was a very humbling experience for me. But I knew that if I didn't have to go through that, I could never be a stand for people to invest their last dollar or do whatever it takes to get the support they need to get out of what they're in, whether it be scarcity or in a job that's sucking them their soul, or a relationship or whatever. I feel like you have to experience that so you can be a stand for other people, because where there's a will, there's a way. And you know, I know so many people who have walked dogs, clean houses, like literally doing whatever it takes to get the support you need to get out of the situation you're in. And so I really think that spirit gave me that experience. And, you know, it always works out, you know, one client turns into the next. And, you know, I would use the power of live stream on this platform called Periscope, where I actually got a download. I call that like a psychic hit while I was in meditation in Kundalini to go on Periscope. And I thought it was crazy. And then it came like 3 days in a row, you need to go on Periscope, you need to go on Periscope. And I was like, okay. And literally within 2 weeks of going on Periscope, a live stream I did went from 700 viewers to 10,000 overnight. And I was trending.
Nice.
So, and then from there, my business just took off. And so now I'm a stand to teach people how to be vulnerable and authentic live so they can find their tribe, so they can really find the people they need to support by being who they are, not trying to be perfect. And, you know, that whole news thing, and I'm sure it's the same where you guys are when you watch the news. It's like perfect hair and perfect makeup, and they even talk differently. It's like they're almost like robots.
Right.
And for so long, I was programmed to be that robot, right? And I think a lot of people, whether they're on TV or not, are programmed to be this thing we think people want, but no one can relate to that. People want to see your mess. And so I'm committed to leading through vulnerability and changing what that looks like, not just in self-development, but in business, in politics, in the world, because that's how people connect with you when they're moved, you know, and they feel you and they have compassion, and empathy is what connects us all.
Right.
And so if I can support anyone from being able to be more authentic in their lives, their homes, their communities, I think this world will be a better place. So that's like the short, long version of
that is a roller coaster ride that you're taking the audience through. That is amazing. A lot has happened. And I love the way you articulate it, and I also see your emotions going, you know, in waves as you tell us the story of your ups and downs. And that's inspiring, because, you know, for a lot of people, one of the reasons that I do this show is that I'm 41, and you know. Life has its waves, and it still does. Business has its waves, and it still does. We were able to build, you know, 2 successful brands, but, you know, every year is a new challenge. What I like to do through this show is to, obviously we all do all our shows to inspire others, but also because the show is called Internet Moguls, it's basically people who have been, people like yourself, human beings like yourself, who've been able to leverage the power of the internet to reach out to people who they would have never been able to meet in their lives, to impact them, and make a living for themselves, living in whichever part of the world, you know, that you want to be, and with whoever you want to be, you know, whatever company you choose to have with you. So you said that you're in this beautiful part of California, you're in San Diego, and with your friends, and you're still running your business, and all you need is a laptop. So tell us how that got started, that aspect of the business. Once you found your calling, once you found your voice, and you realize, I now need to talk to more people, get out of their own mess. I love the mess to message part. Then how did you leverage the internet? Is it because, did you do some speaking events offline, or did you go to meetups, or did you just straight away attack the internet?
Straight up on the phone. So, Periscope in particular is a live streaming app,
yeah,
right? It's very similar to Facebook Live. And I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe the energy that we put out. I'm not a big marketing girl. I believe that I am my vibration and my energy. When I shine my light, my tribe will find me. And when all of us shine our energy out, they'll find you. Like, I have clients from all over the world and students that are like,
that's brilliant.
They're like, I don't even know how I found you. Like, I have 2 women from Canada that are like, one day I was on Facebook, I saw you were live, I didn't even know I was friends with you, I clicked on it, and you showed up, and she wasn't friends with me. And that live stream was going on public. And so I really believe that when you're ready, the teacher will arrive. So if you have a product or a service, you just get to put it out there and trust in the knowing that if you're being authentic, in full integrity with who you are and who you're to serve, there's no way they can't find you. And I think that we're so lucky as entrepreneurs that we have the internet, that we have this technology, that like, I literally have clients from all over the world and students that would never have found me if I didn't just get on my phone and start sharing my message, on platforms like Periscope and on platforms like Facebook, because people can feel you, they can see you, they can see your eyes. And, we would have never met if it wasn't for the internet. Like, you would have never found me. So
100%.
I think this time space of like, I have to, they always say you'll never be a guru in your own hometown, right? They always say that, like, you really do get to like shine bright and just put your content out there, and don't worry about who finds it, because the right people will find it. Your tribe will find you, and your message is, the people that are attracted to you are going to be the different that are attracted to me, right? And it's just, our vibration is our vibration, and we each have our own soul assignment. So whether there's 1 million people selling a marker, the energy that this company is radiating out will bring those type of people just like them into their space. And so that's why I don't believe in competition. I believe there's enough abundance for everyone. We're born abundant. We go to our next phase abundant, I believe, and we just get to tap back into that abundance, that everything we need can come to us. We have an unlimited resource. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. And yeah.
Tell me, this is very fascinating. So tell me, on this journey, and you've been on the journey for a while now. So every successful journey requires some bit of discipline. And with discipline, you sort of fine tune that. You come to rituals. So everybody who's on a journey has some rituals, morning rituals, or weekly rituals, monthly rituals, whatever, which also includes the kind of people you hang out with. So what are the few things that you had to change from your fast track lifestyle of hanging out with celebrities, having those electronic parties? And I wish I knew you then, because I would have loved to party, but I'm off that phase. It just sounds so fascinating. And it just sounds so fascinating, that life, I'm like, oh my God, that seems like so much fun. I had my share of fun as well. But I'm now, obviously, we're all resonating more with each other, because of now our journeys are more aligned towards doing what's right and what feels right by us and by others. Yes. So you obviously have to change some rituals. Like I'm sure you don't get up at midday, or and so like what I did for myself was that I like to have an occasional glass of wine now, but I was a big drinker. I used to love to drink and party every Friday, Saturday. Yeah. And I realized that the next week, I was not as aware. And then it used to I used to lose my awareness. And every time that I lost my awareness, because I was not aware of the fact that I need to do certain things, I would put on weight again, and I would not read as much. So what my own potential was, every weekend I would lose it. So I would work hard 5 days, be in awareness, and then it would go off. So did you? 100%, and that is so important. And it took time to realize that. So tell me, how did you change from that lifestyle to this once you realized your purpose in terms of daily habits and all that?
Yeah, I also used to party a lot, and I was doing that, staying up late and waking up late. You get in that cycle, or you live for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
And the catalyst, I think, as soon as I really started to fall in love with myself, and I know this might sound cheesy, but when I really started doing all the self-development and the affirmations and, just like really doing that inner child work and getting like exploring my emotions, giving myself permission, really like looking for people to forgive in my life and see, the stories I made up that when that happened to me at that age, I wore this mask to protect myself, and really started to uncover my behaviors and where they stemmed from, because they're all just really defense mechanisms for us to survive. And so when I started to uncover that, really dive into self-development, I started to love myself. And when you love yourself, you're not going to drink as much. You're not going to sabotage yourself that much. And when your soul is on fire, when you get clear on what you're here to do and you give yourself permission, that fire, that joy, that feeling, that energy is your high. It becomes your joy, your fuel. And so naturally, I wanted to get up earlier. Naturally, I wanted to go to bed. Naturally, I wanted to read more, watch more video, less television. Like, I wanted to do things that expanded my mind and fed my soul. And so naturally, saying no to going out, for the last few years of going out to clubs in particular, I would always feel like, I'm so bored. And I would start to notice all these people just staring at each other and judging each other. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, this is stupid. We're out late. The cigarette smoke's like ruining our skin, our wrinkles, our lungs. We're killing ourselves with this booze, like just to pretend like we're somebody. Like, and I started to realize the people that are actually doing stuff are already in bed.
Right.
Because they're waking up early.
Sure.
And I started to learn the tools of like, Richard Branson and, people like Tony Robbins and, Oprah and people who like get up early. And, my morning routine is about a 3-hour situation.
Oh, tell us about it.
Yeah. And people might say, well, that's crazy. I have kids and I have this and I have that. And I'm not saying that you need to have a 3-hour morning routine, but the game changer in my life has, 1, been meditation, and 2, morning routine, which is a part of that. In my morning, I always say going out into the world without meditating or going out in the world without your morning routine is like going out into a snowstorm without a jacket.
Nice. I like that.
It's just stupid, because every person you meet, you're going to be reacting from the worst version of yourself.
Wow.
And so for me, meditation and journaling and reading and connecting with my, higher power and spirit, and literally just giving my body an opportunity to recalibrate to being awake and in this body, I'm able to go out into the world and be present and not reactive. And the things that would trigger me, like someone cutting you off in traffic or somebody being late, it's all of a sudden I glide into my day with ease, and then I can show the best version of me. So my life has changed significantly. My morning routine includes listening to chants. I do a lot of Kundalini yoga. So I love, there's certain artists that I get in the zone and I do my Om Namo, and I tap into myself and I stretch. I give gratitude. I write in a gratitude journal. I use my essential oils, depending on what I'm going through that day.
Sure.
I move my body. I give thanks. And I meditate. And I drink water with lemon when I first wake up. I keep my mornings sacred.
Right.
And I don't let anyone hijack my day. I don't look at my phone until at least 30 minutes to an hour that I wake up.
Nice.
They can wait.
I like that when you said you don't let anybody hijack your day. So does that mean that if a client comes to you and says, because that's what we need to do, we need to be possessive about our own rituals in the morning. So if when somebody says, you know what, I really need to do this call with you at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 6 a.m., you're like, all that can wait respectfully, but I first need to be ready for you.
Thank you. And you hit the nail on the head. If I don't take the time to fill up my cup, I'm pouring out from empty, and I'm not doing a service to my clients. I'm actually selling out on them, and I'm giving them the half-assed version of me.
Sure.
And so I need to make sure that I am radiating at my best potential and feeding my body correctly and making sure I'm hydrated, I'm grounded. Because if I'm bringing that energy to them, that's not cool. And also a lot of my clients bringing a lot of energy to me, I need to be able to hold that space and be present with them. But I can't do that if I'm unresolved within myself. And so I set up my morning in such a way that I don't take my first call until 11
Perfect.
in the morning, 10 or 11. And I get up, between 6 and 7 o'clock. And I ease into my day because I want to be in flow. I used to take clients when I was in scarcity, 7, 8, 9, and I would wake up at 6:45 or wake up 5 minutes before the call and get on the call. And it was energetically like I felt like I was running on fumes and running on empty. And then you snap at people and you're not nice to your kids or you're not nice to your pet or whatever. And so I think the world would be a better place if everyone just took their mornings back and said, this is me time. And I can't be the best wife, best husband, best son, daughter, mom, dad, or, human if I can't get in alignment with myself, love on myself, take my moment, and then I can ease into my day with grace. And those hard days, I don't have bad days very rarely anymore because I'm not running on like reaction.
Sure.
And so many people are rushing out the door and, rushing here and rushing there. And it's like that chaos and that energy, everyone sees it and feels it. And it's not good for you. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your family or the lives you touch. So morning routine is everything to me.
You explained it so well. What we do at the Internet Moguls office is that we are a couple of hundred people in the office, and so what we and we realize that a lot of people, they travel 2 hours a day and they have to reach office at a certain time. I, being the founder of the business, have the flexibility to do my morning routine, but there are so many people who don't have the. So what we do in the office is that every morning at 10 o'clock, we have a ritual where we have 2 videos from Sadhguru or Eckhart Tolle to just set the tone for the day. So it motivates them, it's an energy. And then there's a yoga teacher who comes in just for 10 minutes to get their postures correct. And so that's about 10 to 10:30 every single day. And then at 2:30 sharp, 2 o'clock sharp, every single day for the last 9 years, except Sundays, this happens every single day. 2 o'clock again, it's the lunch hour. So the entire office, and I can send you a video because it's a very powerful chant. 11 times the entire office stands up and we do the Gayatri Mantra. And there are people from all faiths and all religions and all of that. And we do the Gayatri Mantra 11 times. We have 2 conference rooms in the office, and there are clients who are there. And some of these clients are, large clients from large corporations. But they're asked to join us or excuse us for 11 minutes because we do the 11 minutes that, and then we watch another video, uplift the energy. And then there are 2 options.
Wow.
People can go to lunch, or then people can go back to the yoga teacher who's come back again in the afternoon. Because the idea is that I just like you said, we realize that a lot of people are not working. Their energy is down there and their dreams are right in front of them. So we have a dream chart. Anybody who joins the office does a vision board and puts it right there. So they know what they're working towards. They're not working for me or they're not working for they're working for that dream. And if my company doesn't serve that dream, they should leave. So they have their dream right in front of them, but they're operating it, like you said, almost zero energy. So we have these 2 rituals that sort of uplift them. Very honestly, what I've seen is that unless it comes from within, these external rituals, don't really make a difference. But my hope is that even if 5% people actually reach their eventual ultimate potential, I've done my job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing you're creating for your tribe and for your family. Like, I just think that is magical that they get to work at a place like that where you care enough about their well-being, their emotional being, because it literally reflects out into every person they touch, and it matters. And so many people are being trained to be workhorses. And, I have a friend that I'm here with, and she leads these beautiful hikes in nature, and, really talking about, sorry, my friends are going to go eat. she leads these beautiful hikes out in nature because there's so much screen addiction going on, and there's so much depression going on, that people don't realize that they're not getting out, they're not getting in nature, they're not feeling their soul.
Right.
And so I just want to honor you for what you've created, in a container that, they get an opportunity to love on themselves, and get to recalibrate themselves so they can serve in a greater capacity. And your vibe matters, right? The energy in which you're vibrating
100%.
frequency will attract more of what you desire or more of what you don't, based upon how you're radiating.
100%. And the thing is that once you're doing everything, we don't have the fanciest office in the world. It needs the renovation, I know. But the thing is that what I've realized is that every single client, I knock on wood for that, every single client who comes in, even if they're not spiritually aligned or inclined, they always go back saying that there's something nice about the place. There's an energy. And I tell them it's because of the Gayatri Mantra that we do it 11 times. So, I know that you have an India connection, and I tell people that, we have this resort in Goa called the Tamarind, where there are amazing people from all over the world. And then you actually told me that you've actually been to Goa. And
yes.
And I promised myself that I'll make sure the next time you're there that your experience was way better than the one that you had last time. But tell us about your India tour.
Oh my gosh! So I'm obsessed with India. I definitely feel like in a past life I must have spent quite some time there. I've always been very connected to Ganesha and many of the Indian gods and goddesses. When I was little, I always had this very strong calling to the culture. And when my friend of mine, who is a big video game developer, he received the top racing game award and got a huge bonus. And he's like, we're just friends. And he said, you'd be so much fun to travel with, where do you want to go in the world? And I said, India. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah. And he's like, okay. So next thing you know, we were in India. We went to Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, Udaipur, Kerala, and Kochi.
Nice.
And Goa. And we stayed in the Oberoi hotels. We were in Goa. But it was awesome. I love India so much. And
it is a roller coaster ride, yes. For the senses, for the body, for everything, yeah.
It was the most. I experienced so much contrast and emotion in India.
Exactly.
Those moments I'd be laughing and in so much joy, and the moments I'd be crying. It was just magical. But the thing I love the most about India is the people.
Mm-hmm.
I love the people, and I can't wait to go back. It has a very special place in my heart. And I think it's I think the two countries that get the worst rap, at least what I've heard, is Africa and India. And I've spent time in both of those countries. And people are like, oh, I'd never go to India. And I was like, you're missing out. India is amazing. India is magical. India is, and the people, and they're so educated and they're so loving, and they have this family dynamic. And how can you say that? You know what I mean? How could you say you don't want to go to Africa or India? I mean, first of all, they're huge countries. And then secondly, or continents or whatever. But I'm like, I just feel like people have this misconception, but it's a shame because they're missing out, because India is freaking awesome.
100%. And so, what we've done is that, we've started is that we're taking a yearly tour. We call it the Internet Bogus Tour to India, where we're taking people, friends, and it's a non-commercial tour. Everybody pays for their own stuff and stays wherever they want. But we just, sort of introducing India to our North American friends once a year through the Internet Bogus Tour to India. So I'll send you details, and it's going to happen every year. So whenever the best part about it is obviously traveling to India, but it's also the kind of people that you sort of go with. And I'm sure through Facebook and the internet, the communities become so small. And when people say 5,000 friends, I'm like, you know what? I make it a point to call up 3 friends who I know on Facebook and I haven't met personally, to either interview them or talk to them, or at least get to know them and see how we can help each other. And it's the world becomes so much smaller, the opportunities become so much bigger. And so we said once, and I've been doing this for a couple of years, and everybody's like, I want to go to India, I want to do something. Somebody wants to open an office, hire some people, other people want to just see the Taj Mahal. There's somebody else who wants to go get married over there. Everybody has all sorts of crazy dreams for India. I said, what I'll do is, we, as internet moguls, we put it together, and then everybody can, receive what they receive best out of the vibrations of India.
That is so cool. Yeah, when I was there, I told the people that, I met, I'm like, I'm going to bring people back. Like, this place, people don't even know.
Yeah, you must. So this has been, I thank you for your time. I asked for 40 minutes and I see 40 minutes over now. I'd love to see you again on the show. And so this has been good. I started off by getting very inspired by you when you said changing your mess into your message. I love that. I saw, the other big takeaway for me was how you own your morning. And also because when you told us your story, it's not that you were born spiritual. You said you did everything that everybody does at a certain age and wants to have fun and all of that. And then to realize, almost like Gautam Buddha or Siddhartha, to say, I'm not finding the satisfaction or peace or happiness in this. And so, because why I'm bringing this point back is because I feel it is important to go through that part of life as well, so that you can now fully appreciate the new phase that you're in. There are a lot of people who at 21 or 18, it's okay for everybody to lead their own life, but I feel that if you taste a little bit of everything, then you know what you love. Because I see people at 40, 50, or even 60 bouncing back with a vengeance, going partying and doing all of that, because they've missed out on all of that while they were growing up. So it's important. So I loved your story of, of not just only partying, but having such a high-flying lifestyle and also winning there. So the common thing with both your stories and both chapters of your life was that you were winning in both aspects. You were winning there as a TV anchor and a host, working with celebrities and all of that. And then you're clearly winning because I see that smile on your face, which is saying that, I'm loving also because you're in San Diego, a beautiful place, but you're also, loving the life that you're living and with the people you want to be with. So Amber, thank you very much for being, part of the Internet Mogul Show. And I just want to leave asking you for one more promise that this is not the last time you're going to be on this show. We'd like to do another version of this, know how you're helping your clients and how your journey is evolving, so that, people in India who watch this show or worldwide, they can follow your journey and, and learn from you and grow accordingly.
Amazing. Yes. And before we go, I want to leave them with a couple affirmations, because I wrote a book called Sticky Affirmations to Live Your Purpose. It's just an ebook. And this has been one of my biggest tools that have helped me break through my self-limiting beliefs or fear, or to manifest.
Right.
I believe we're little computers, and we're being programmed by parents that didn't know any better, experiences, or what's in front of us. And so we really get to take our power back and be our own computer program and do some upgrades on, the beliefs we have that don't serve us, get what we want. So don't let anyone hijack your morning.
Oh, I love that.
A really powerful one for everyone.
I need to take a picture of that.
And then you guys can stick these little stickies or Post-its or whatever on your computer, your alarm clock in the morning. Never let anyone hijack your morning, because then everyone's going to pay, And then also for all of you entrepreneurs out there, or, in the process of creating, I believe that self-care is working on your business. And I can't tell you how many people come to me for business coaching and consulting, and they want this to-do list. Well, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And it's like, I put that aside and step into who do you want to be, because you can actually work a lot less and get more results just by making sure that your vibration is that of the people you want to attract. And so the more I've actually slowed down in my business, you guys, the doing, I've actually made more money. I've called in more clients and more opportunities, because your vibration is attracting your tribe. So if you're in manic do all day, you're not going to get what you really want. And so it's only doing less, being more. And so self-care, AKA morning routine, is working on your business. Like, I say there's nothing more important than self-care.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
If people are like, well, my business isn't working, I probably ask them, are you meditating?
I like that.
How much joy are you creating? Because joy is the highest frequency, and joy can manifest whatever you want. So there's nothing more important than your happiness. And so
I love that.
If you're stressed, if you're in scarcity, if you're in panic, I got to build this business, that energy, that desperate energy, is not going to get you what you want. So
Wow.
self-care.
Or get you the kind of clients that you don't want.
Exactly. And I can't tell you how many clients I'm like, oh my God, I just called in these 3 new customers, or oh my God, I just got a bonus, or oh my God, I just got a promotion. I had no idea that morning routine, like working on myself, would be working on my business. I'm like, yes, the self-development thing is so important for anything you're doing in your life, because there's nothing more important in my mind to invest in yourself than investing in yourself. And that is investing in your business. People say, I don't have time to meditate, or I don't have time to read books, or I don't have time to do this. Yes, well, you can't afford not to. And so just try it. I'm just saying, just try it. If you feel like you're in a place where your business isn't moving as fast as you want, or the money's not coming as fast as you want, I invite you to slow down to speed up. Because if you're in alignment with who you are and your purpose, it'll come to you. But if you're going like trying to searching for it, you're actually keeping it away from you. There's nothing more important than getting aligned in your body and in your space, and life will get a whole lot easier.
That
I used to be a manic person, 9 to 5, 9 to 9. I was in the agency game, working 12-hour days, 60 hours a week. Like, it's sometimes that stuff keeps everything you want away, and sometimes you just need to know it's who you're being. You could probably get a lot more done in a shorter period of time if you were in vibrational alignment with who you are while you're doing that thing. You wouldn't have to work as hard.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah,
for
that self-care is working on your business.
I love that. So tell us where, people who want to know more about your coaching and your training and, what your message, where can they reach out to you?
Okay, cool. So I'm now incorporating this cool thing called a messenger bot. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So I just got my messenger bot. It should be up and working. Lifepurpose.chat. And that will help me get to know you better. Lifepurpose.chat.
Are you using ManyChat for this?
Yeah, ManyChat.
Mm-hmm.
And so my intention for that is to connect with people on a deeper level. I put some voice notes in there for some inspiration. I have a little life purpose inventory quiz. And then that's the place where I'll start to notify people when I go live on Facebook and when I go live on Periscope. It'll also let people know of my upcoming boot camps, because I have a 6-week virtual training I do. Turn your crazy into your purpose. Those crazy things like meditation and affirmations and those crazy dreams, and the people that are crazy enough to change the world actually. So I'm supporting people in finding their purpose and learning to love themselves again and make them a top priority over a 6 weeks virtual course. And then I have the lecture.
So it's virtual. Okay.
It's all virtual.
It's
yeah.
online. Right.
And I have students from London and New Zealand and Canada and Mexico, and it's kind of cool. And then I have a program that I just started called Let Your Light Shine Live. Mm-hmm. And that's teaching people how to own their truth, speak their voice, and be authentic and vulnerable on live stream. So combining my 10 years of TV hosting with my ability to be really...
So everything happens for a reason. When looking back, the dots are connecting, right? Why you were there, mm-hmm. why you had to do that.
Exactly. Like, who would have thought? Fast forward to 39 years old, I would be getting paid to yell at my phone and coach people from all over the world and having to be themselves. And so my students just graduated from this training, and I mean, it was powerful to see people turn their mess into their message and give themselves permission to shine, whether they're moms or business owners or students or, people that just want to like inspire their community. So being able to speak your truth and not care what people think, and not, have to prepare when you go live, and learn to just trust yourself and be yourself. It's very liberating, very freeing. So I'm excited to see where those 2 programs go.
I'm excited to do my live. I do a live every day. I'm excited to do a live after this show because I'm so inspired. I've interviewed over 150 people. I actually go down and, so I made a mission for myself that if I want to meet somebody, I'll make sure I meet them. I make a vision and I go for them. Gary Vaynerchuk or whoever I want to meet, I went ahead, got into their office and met them, became friends with most of these guys. And I want to meet Barack Obama, so that's next on my list. And I know I'm going to make it happen. But I've never heard from someone saying that if self-care is working on your business. That is so profound. I love that. I've never heard that. Never.
Self-care is working on your business.
And I so believe it. And I'm telling you, since you said that about 7-8 minutes ago, I've been in a bit of a daze. I know I'm doing an interview, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I should be doing more for myself. I'm doing it for my, I'm trying to create an environment for the office to do that. But like I said, I don't know how many people are actually doing it or how many people are just present there or not even aware of what they should be doing. But it's about me first to be able to, find more time for myself, especially the morning routine. So I sort of Benji is the big culprit. Benji, my dog, he takes my morning routine away from me because he licks my face and he wants me to take him for a walk. And I'm like, Benji, I just got into a meditative state, but he doesn't wait for anyone. But this was really powerful.
You know what I find with the dogs is they love the morning routine time because I put on my essential oil diffuser and then I'll put the chants on and they'll come late. I mean, they love it. They're like, they love it when you get in the zone and you're like, nope. I mean, it took a few days for Romeo to stop trying to sit in my lap and lick my face. And I was just, nobody, like, no. And so now he knows when Mama sits down on her mat and her bolster, it's like they just lay down. They like it too.
That's amazing. I've got a Romeo too. We've got 6 of them. Romeo, Paris, Joey.
You have Romeo too?
Yes. We have Romeo and Paris, and they have a child called Joey. And so that's the pug family. Then we have Tony. So that's a pug family. Then we have Tony, who's like a 130-pound American bulldog. And then we have Benji. He's a bit of a mix. Most of these dogs that we get, we run a rescue at home. So most of these dogs are rescue dogs that we're supposed to bring in. And then eventually, host them for a few months and find a home for them. But we end up keeping most of them. So that's why we've got a bunch of them now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to take a picture of you real quick. I'm so obsessed that you're such a freaking dog lover.
Oh, we're crazy about dogs. So you know what? There are especially in Vancouver.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
So from Los Angeles to Seattle to on this West Coast, there are very few doggy daycares or rescues which are open on the weekends. So they shut down and they stop taking new pets and new animals on the weekends.
Oh my God.
And over the weekends, there are a lot of people, I don't know how this happens, it's painful, but a lot of human beings actually beat up their dogs after drinking on the weekends. And then they throw them on the streets and the rescues are closed. So people are opening their homes as rescues. Because there's so much to do on the weekend, a lot of people don't open their homes over the weekend. So we decided to open our home about 2 years back. So mostly on a Friday night, 1 o'clock, or Saturday night, 3 o'clock, we had a call. A dog is in Seattle, so somebody will drive him from Seattle to Vancouver and then we host the dog. So most of the time, the whole family is getting up at night and, hey, there's another dog coming in. Can you send us a picture while you're on the way and all of that? We're excited. The dog comes in sometimes grumpy, terrified, scared, non-trusting, all of that. But then eventually they become family and
they never want to leave.
They never want to leave. The problem that the rescue has with us is that they're saying that, you know what, your aim, you must remember why you started this. It is to host them and then let them go. You guys end up owning most of them. So that's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, they're your family, and they called you into their life. They found their home again.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're feeling connected.
Yeah. Some of them die. I know they're on the verge of dying, and we're very happy for them to pass on with us. We help them. And it is good fun because between my wife and the 2 girls, everybody is we're on the same page, at least on this front.
Yes. Well, please let me know anytime I could come to India and maybe or Vancouver and do a workshop with you. I would love to.
100%. 100%. We will make it happen, and I'll send you more details on the workshop, on the stuff we're already doing for India, and let's see how we can align our journeys together.
Woo! Let's do it.
Perfect. Amber, once again, thank you very much for your time, and thank you not only for inspiring the audiences, and I'm sure many of them will reach out to you, but for me to now saying that I'm going to own my morning more than I ever did.
Boom.
Thanks a lot.
I can't wait for you. I can't wait for the ripple effect that causes in your business and your family. And you'll notice you'll be getting so much more in alignment. You'll be making business choices from your higher self in the highest good of the world versus your ego.
I will.
Because you'll be so tapped in.
I have no doubt. I will. And if I get stuck, I'll reach out to you again.
You got it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Your purpose matters, everybody. Let's get busy.
Thank you, Amber. Take care and see you soon.
Bye.